So let's start at the beginning. Can you tell us a little about your background?
That's a very large question about trying to be as direct as possible.
Okay.
I grew up in Nigeria in the military barracks. Everyone around me were officers, so it was a very interesting story. But I think one core thing that was prevalent through my childhood was gaming. It was really, me and my brother, would come back from school and we just played, at the time it was those old Sega Mega Drives, would play Contra, would play those old games. And I think it was something that always got us to look forward to coming back from school, right? You go to school, you're just waiting, counting those hours, to just, come back from break, come back and then fight over who got home first to play which game. So, but growing up was a very fun experience. We sort of advanced through the years. We got a PS2 and then from there just skyrocketed, and I think it was just very interesting to grow around different dynamics, both from a military standpoint and from a civilian standpoint, and just see how that shapes my future going forward.
So you would say your household was more of a modern and traditional mix?
Yep.
How would you say your family dynamic would have shaped your three interests in music, gaming and film?
It's in a very interesting way. My dad did love music. The gaming was a core part of my childhood. I'll be in the back of the car listening to classics. My dad loved Bob Marley and the Wailers. He loved those classic old 1900 songs, and I think that really influenced how much I love music. And in terms of the other aspects, for the film one, it was just there was this channel called African Magic back in Nigeria,
yes,
and it had these local Nigerian films. And I think growing up around all those things really made me very curious about what those things were all about.
That's nice to hear. So we mentioned earlier that your alias is what I would call it, is the In-Between-One, or your pen name. So can you tell me a little bit about where that name came from?
Well, that's a very hard one. I think the In-Between-One is core to I think who I was, and I think it was all about, it was from university where something happened to me, a large experience that would go on to shape who I became. And the In-Between-One was, for me, I was stuck in this section, right, in this repetition of ephemerality, where there's where I couldn't move, right? But at the same time, I'm not sure if I wanted to move because of what was going on around me in my life. Yeah. So, but then when you're in that spot, a lot becomes very clear to you, right? You begin to filter things better. I don't know if I'm going too deep or if I'm explaining well, but essentially, I felt like the name was really core to what I was experiencing at the time and what I would continue to experience, right? I would continue to be in the middle, just because I felt too kind to make certain decisions and too angry at what life was throwing at us. And it was it's the different moving parts, but I would say the whole essence of the name revolves around just being in the middle, but being able to perfectly perceive the different aspects and different side of things.
That's very interesting to hear. I haven't really imagined it from that standpoint. Okay, so if you were to describe your journey in one word or phrase, what would it be and why?
That's hard. One word, I'd say, actually, this is one I'm going to steal from a company slogan: life is a game, play it well. Yeah, because I think literally life is a game. There's highs, there's lows, there's side quests, there's literally it is. I think there's no real phase in that, and I think everyone needs to start seeing it from that perspective.
Now everyone kind of gets a general idea of basically how Emmanuel came up with the project EchoCulture, and where we're going to be moving on into Emmanuel's journey through gaming, how it became an escape and a passion.
Chai, we need a different approach. Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm gonna reason with it.
Well, we had a good run.
Look, man, I think we have more in common than we do apart. How about...
Damn! Damn! Damn!
Can you share more about any challenges you would have faced in university and how gaming would have helped you go through those challenges?
I did face challenges. I mean, at the time I went to Cobna University back in Nigeria, and then now university, and then majorly in Covenant. I think there are many challenges, and gaming did help, go through a lot of them, I guess. I think gaming was a form of escapism at that point in time. It went from LAN titles, different. We literally just playing LAN games with your boys. Blood, Call of Duty, different games. And then when you not get into that online gaming, space, it's something else, right?
He said just leave it.
Push them, Joe.
Show yourself.
Guys,
Identify yourself. Maximum composure and steez.
Because then you and guys can enter a game and then just keep going. Victory, defeat, and I think it just gave you something to look forward to, especially at the time when life was really not at its best. You just had something that you could come together with friends and just keep going at, regardless of. And it was crazy because we didn't have good network, we didn't have good internet, so we would still play anyways. Like for example, we would play League and 3 of us would be connected to the same router, and then the Wi-Fi would go off and then 3 of us have left that game. And League is a game that requires 5 people. So imagine 2 guys playing a game with 3 other people, and then internet goes and you have 3 people away from your team, and that's crazy, right? But gaming was all about escapism, was all about just relating and resilience, and just having good times with your friends even when everything around you was bad.
I mean, gaming.
It should be inbound. It's the inbound. It's already inbound.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
See me.
Oh my god, bro.
I'm behind you, Chike. Stop running in circles. I'm here. Holy. Chike, why are you running away from me? Why are you running away from me? I see now. Holy, I'm dead, bro. Chike,
Land.
Listen to your brother. Holy shit!
Did you make it?
No! I dropped 5 rare samples, bro. I hit the guy's shoulder, I died. I hit his shoulder, I died, bro. Wow.
So, how do you think gaming can bring people from different cultures or create a mutual understanding?
I think that's a good question. I think gaming is a really core tool. For me, it was all about when I started this, I hadn't gone to any countries, I hadn't been anywhere. So meeting people in lobbies that are from different cultures and getting to learn a bit about them just from a comms chats was very interesting.
Yeah.
For example, I easily learned. I know it's something that is displayed in films easily, but I easily learned that Europeans are very, very big on smoking cigarettes, right? Because why? Because in games, whenever I had Europeans or people from that region of the world in my games, there were always times where they had to go and take a smoke break, right? Let's say I want a break, let's say we're waiting for the next round. Oh, I'm right back. I'll be right back. I have to go and take a smoke break. So I found it very interesting, just learning that little thing. Right, so for me it was okay, this is one thing that brings everyone together regardless of where they are to come and play on one level playing field. So I think there's a lot of potential and possibilities behind getting everyone to really learn from each other, getting everyone to really collaborate, to communicate, and to see things from other people's perspectives. Because a large part of gaming is also storytelling, and storytelling leads to empathy, right? So I think the more we play around with gaming, the more we play around with these different aspects of these things, the more we can, I think, bring people together, bring communities together globally through gaming.
Can you tell me how music has impacted your life?
Well, going up from even what just played, Tracy Chapman, Fasca, I think Fasca is a very amazing song, right? It's a very core song that kind of shows you that you don't really need much, right? And I think music keeps on reminding you that there's just a lot of moving parts in the world. There's a lot of moving aspects to it. And I think you should listen to because I was a very open-minded person when I was listening to music, right? So going through different artists, different songs, just picking bits and pieces of their stories. It's just a very interesting thing to do, I think.
Yeah, it's also another way to see things from like their own personal perspective, and just
Exactly.
even immersing yourself in a song, like when you're walking around like school or
Yep.
you're driving, and then you just really get in the zone or in the vibe of whatever song it is
Yep.
that's playing.
Exactly.
So what would you say is your go-to song for driving?
Oh,
Or an
okay,
album that you
driving.
would play if you're driving or if you're just walking around? What would you say?
Joji, yeah, definitely.
Nice.
The Sanctuary album, the one 777, Afterthoughts, Upgrade. I think that particular album is such a good driving album. Also, another good driving album is actually The Weeknd's, the one that has Blinding Lights.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
100%.
Blinding Lights is. I think it was written for driving. And tell me whatever you want to tell me, but Blinding Lights was perfect. It's perfect for driving.
What songs would you say really made you, get in your feelings, basically?
My feelings. Okay, my feelings, I'd say it definitely was 21 Pilots. I'll just say, just as a staple, I'd say the staple album, Blurry Face. I think that was a very core aspect of my music journey. That had core songs, Stressed Out, so everyone was Stressed Out. But it had a lot of good songs, and that segued well into like my exploring of 21 Pilots. Heavy Dirty Soul, Tears in My Heart. I think they sing with such emotion, they sing with such, like, Tyler knows how to bear his emotions on his lips and still pass them, still convey. Like, Tyler is just a beautiful man. But I think, yes, they really got me in my feelings in terms of really like introspecting, in terms of really not being scared to talk about those things that the public kind of made you not want to talk about.
Yeah, they just really get you to. They say not your deepest, darkest thoughts, but what you wouldn't normally say.
Exactly.
Basically. You mentioned that you're from Nigeria, yeah?
Yeah.
Of course. So what would you say are one of your like go-to Afrobeat songs?
Skin Tight, easy. Like, that's just one song that I just go to and I'll play.
Yeah.
Aside that, I'd say I'm an old soul. I think early 2000 songs, Maradona and Baniniola. Which is that one? Yeah, Repete by Black Magic. That's such a good song. There's so many staples that is not coming to my mind right now for some reason, but yes, I'd say there are a lot of old 1900s, early 2000s Afrobeats and Nigerian songs that were just amazing listings. Some Iso, Wandeko, like there's a lot of classics that were beautiful.
What about the new artists? What would you say about them? Those underground artists?
Definitely, Halo, SK, Mojo. Let's not get there. We don't have enough time for that.
All right. So before we dive into film, I just want to quickly talk about like the song that was previously played, because I honestly really love Obong JR, and I want to ask you, like, what do you think of him as an artist, basically?
I think he's amazing as a human being. I love how he echoes his love for his family and his art and his music. I think that's one thing I love about him. Just the song, Just My Luck. Like, it's literally talking about, how you get what you need at the exact time you need it in life. You didn't get exactly what you wanted. You got what you need at that point in time to get through that moment. And Obong JR is an amazing man.
He's a pretty good artist. Honestly, one of my favorite videos of his is when he was, I think he had his mom and his sister.
Exactly.
Where he was singing to them and he was on the
It
floor and they
was
were crying. And I was like, I don't know if I'm comfortable. If I was an artist, I don't know if I'm comfortable able to do that. But I was just like, that's amazing.
Exactly.
That's really, really great to do.
Exactly.
So, Emmanuel, how would you describe your relationship with film?
Okay, I'd say film for me was just, it was much more than escapism this time around. It was really exploring different styles, exploring different aspects of cinema. And at that point in time, I didn't even know what I was doing, right? Here's what I did. I was using IMDb as a compass. I just, at the point in time, I'd seen certain actors and directors I liked. And I'm like, okay, you know what I can do? I had the time. I'd go to IMDb, I'd search up an actor, and I'd watch all his movies. Search up a director, watch all his movies. I think I went through early 2000s to 2015 for most actors at that point in time. Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Christopher Nolan, Quentin Tarantino, Guy Ritchie, Yorgos Lanthimos, a lot of core actors and directors I loved. And I think it was breathtaking every time. And why? Because I was looking for depth. Like I was searching for depth. I didn't want none of that, like,
basic conventional
yes.
stuff.
I went to go and search for I love psychological thrillers. Fight Club, I was there. The Killing of a Secret there. Those movies those Logan Lemon movies, Specks of Being a Wallflower, Indignation. There's so many that comes to mind. Fury. Just to answer your question, I think it's a core aspect of who I am, and I think I am very passionate about becoming a director and a writer down the line, and I think if that happens, that'd be amazing.
So you would say you're less of a surface level person and just more of an in-depth person, like you just don't want anything that's predictable.
Why do you say it like that? But yes, I think I choose depth every time.
All right, that's amazing. So you spoke on some directors that really influenced your passion for film. You mentioned Guy Ritchie, Tarantino. Which one of their movies would you say really spoke to you?
I mentioned one from Guy Ritchie and one from Quentin and one from Yorgos. Okay. For Guy Ritchie, it's between Lock, Stock and Smoking Barrels and Snatch, but I'd pick one for the purpose of this movie. I'd say Snatch. Let's get it. Snatch is it's a beauty of a movie. The way it transitions, the way he adapts different stories to kind of align. I think that the core word in Snatch is chance. Right, like just by chance the stories just mesh together, and it's if you watch the story, it's very funny. He just play around with everything. Everyone, all the characters are very well thought out. It's a beautiful movie that Jason didn't even have to. I feel like he didn't even have to do much to just be so amazing at the movie. But I think Snatch is my favorite for Guy Ritchie. For Quentin, I'd say it's not Pulp Fiction. It's not. It's not Pulp Fiction. It's not Kill Bill. It's not Kill Bill. I'd say it's Reservoir Dogs.
Why?
Reservoir Dogs is just a bunch of gentlemen in suits that are just having a wild time, and I think it's just, as a film lover, I think it's just a classic. Like just guys in suits. There's confusion. There's blood. There's action. What else do you need to make a good movie? That'd be it for Quentin. And for Yorgos, I'd say his movies are dark. If you don't like dark things, do not watch Yorgos Lanthimos. But I'd say just because much is coming to mind now, I'll just say Killing of a Sacred Deer because it's such a good movie that explores the dark aspects of humanity and then just all that psychologically thrilling aspect of things that people don't like to talk about. But yes, I think those were my favorite movies from those directors. Thank you.
That's amazing to hear, honestly. I feel like when it comes to film, for me, I'm less of a psychological person. I can dive into it once in a while, but I like peace. I like there to just be happiness, joy, romance. What's my favorite show? Yes. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I also really love sci-fi. I'm obsessed with sci-fi movies. So yeah, there's also Interstellar. Do you know what's funny? I didn't watch Interstellar when it came out. When the hype was there, I didn't watch it. I think it was later on in my life, maybe I can see last year that I watched Interstellar and
Matthew McConaughey,
it was amazing.
He's such a fine man in that show. I'm sorry, he's such an amazing man in that show. But yeah, please go on. Thank you. Yeah,
but generally, I do love how you explained why these directors made you really have this intense passion for film, and it kind of shaped your journey when you were going through those different phases. What actor would you say has actually really inspired you? Or not even inspired. Let's say you watch a movie and then the actor really made you feel like, okay, this is real. This is not even.
I have it.
Go on.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Drum roll. It's Rami Malek and Mr. Robots.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think it's the role, the series. It's so real. It's so I don't know about other people, but for me that was the way he played it, the way he went through the show. I like it. For me, it's one of my my favorite TV series. We'll probably go on for 3 hours if I start to talk about Rami Malek. So no, let's not do it.
All right, no problem. That's okay. So I think for now I'm done with most of my questions regarding film. So I would want to ask now, when these three mediums come together, what would you say is your intention or your goal basically for this project?
Well, as you can see, these are three aspects that I'm very passionate about, and I think three of them, they have a core aspect of storytelling to them. And I think if we play around them, we can really get people to start empathizing with one another more genuinely. I think now more than ever, we need to incorporate more skills of active listening. We need to come together as a community. We need to collaborate more. We need to learn more about cultures. You know, I think it's one thing watching social media and thinking you now know a lot about people's cultures. You know, even I've been in Canada for over a year now, and I'm always learning things. I'm continuously learning things, right? And using these mediums, my aim is to bring everyone together, to get everyone to start being more empathetic towards each other by learning more about cultures through games, music, and films. You know, I feel like, you know, we can argue all day, but put a good movie in front of us, regardless of our cultures, would come together and would watch it and would enjoy it and would be able to feel what that character was feeling, even if I was Nigerian, even if you were Canadian, even if you were, you know, Jamaican, even if you were Indian, even if you were from whatever background. Put that medium in front. Is it games? We all come together on the game. Music, we all listen, we all understand what that music is trying to tell us. Is it the film? I mean, I don't have to say much about that. So I think my goal for this project is really to bring everyone together and to start promoting empathy and start getting everyone to start understanding certain cultural aspects of things while, you know, exploring these different mediums that are also very, very fun and engaging and immersive.
That's amazing, honestly. I'm very excited for where all of this is going to lead.
Thank you.
So I always ask you some quick rapid fire questions.
That's right.
So if you were to live in any game world, which one would you pick?
Game mode. That's hard. Game mode. Fast. I'd say just because of the potential of building things, just because I love building. But then that's hard because that's fights. But then I don't mind fights. Actually, see, I'm strained to. This is a very hard question.
I think most of the games you will play, everything has
evil characters, but I will not shy away. I'd say the game I will enter would be Borderlands.
Borderlands.
Yes.
Interesting. Do you know what game I would pick?
What?
I'd pick Sims.
Come on, you're boring.
How is that boring?
God,
How is that boring?
Sims.
It's literally exactly what's going on here.
Well, true.
And there's more to it.
Very true. There's more to it. It's very true.
More to it.
Well, yeah, go on.
Okay, so if you were to collaborate with any director, which one would you pick?
That's
Any
very
movie
hard.
director.
That's very hard. Guy Ritchie, because I think he does an amazing job of portraying culture through scenes, through storytelling. I think that's one thing I love about Guy Ritchie. For example, in the movie The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, there's a Nigerian scene where, like, you know, this guy has this group of Nigerian guys, and it's so natural. It's so natural. I think the way he portrayed that scene in his movie felt very perfect, and I'd love to learn from him how to do that, because I still want to incorporate certain aspects of my identity, of my culture, but at the same time I'd like it to be very, very, very available to everyone. So I'd really love to collaborate with him and learn from him about how he does that and how I can do that in an amazing way like him.
If that happen, I feel like you guys will work great together. So
Thank you.
Let's see what the future holds. Okay, one last question. If you could collaborate with anyone in the world on EchoCulture, who would it be?
Interesting. That's a very hard question as well. I'd say if I could collaborate with anyone at all on this project,
call the person's name they may be watching.
I'd say like it's Stenfield, Joey Bad. I can't just say one person. There's so many, but it has to be a director. I think that's to be a director. Yes, I think Guy Ritchie or Quentin Guy Ritchie.
Not necessarily a director. I mean, there's so many mediums that we're working on here. So
actually, very true. But I'd say this is too hard.
It's fine.
Okay,
it's fine.
I'd say just to close this out.
Yeah.
I'd say Bonjaya. I'd love to do something with you. Thank you.
All right, awesome. All right, so that's a wrap for EchoCulture.
Thank you for this wonderful gift. I appreciate you. You reminded me of your dad. You know, that will always be his perfume. And I bless God for raising you, that you can stand today. I know your dad is not dead. Thank you. I appreciate. Thank you for not failing us.
See you next time.